When I was learning to draw, I started with horses because I wanted one badly. I drew the horse and everything the horse needed: hay, oats, saddle, and bridle. Then I made up stories while biding the time until I could talk my parents into giving me one. Every Saturday, my sister Sophie and my best friend Marla went to Briggs Stables and got a lesson. My favorite horse was named Riches, and Marla's was Rags. We all learned to trot Ernie, a big black horse that would never let you fall off. I just went back to Briggs to see a baby foal that was born 2 months ago. The mother horse is called a mare, and her foal, that's the baby horse. They were so happy to be alive, I thought, I'd like to draw them for you. First, I'd like to draw you the baby horse, which is called the foal, the one that we saw at Briggs's. And thank you, Kathy Zinn, for letting us take pictures of your beautiful horses. The mother horse's name is Ollie, and the baby's is Rosalia. I'm going to show you a basic shape. It's going to be a square with the foal. And I'm going to draw this first and then take this away and start again. If you took this and divided it in half both ways, you would find that the little foal's head would be up here, and its body would be here, and its legs would be here. They're very, very long. So just remember those proportions when you're drawing the little foal, that he's very much he's all legs. Now, these horses are called Friesians, and it's a very ancient breed that often carried knights into battle in the olden days. I mean, we're talking way in the olden days, like when the Roman soldiers were making fights in Europe. And this horse is a pure black horse. Sometimes it has a tiny bit of white on its forehead. And here's the little foal's head. And you can see it's kind of a wedge shape. And his little nostril. And his ears are a little bit bigger than they would be in proportion to the rest of him compared to the mare. And his maiden tail kind of have a little curl to them. They're just growing. And I've always said to use a lot of time when you're drawing the horse's eye, because that's where his expression is going to be. And this little foal was so full of life and so curious, I tried to reflect that in his eye. And there's his nostril. He's got his nostril wide open because he was doing a lot of running around. And he almost has a little rascally look on his face because he was very proud of himself and he liked having the attention from his mother. And his back is relatively short. You'll see when I draw his mother that her back will be very long, and he'll take a lot of growing to catch up with her. Now, the Friesian is a very tall horse, and the mother was 17 hands that we saw. And this little foal is a purebred, so he'll be every bit as big. She will be every bit as big as her mom. And the Friesian horse has a very unique trotting step. It has a high carriage, which means it just picks up its feet in the front quite high, and they were very sought after to draw carriages because they were so elegant. And that prancing look made everybody look at these horses, and it became one of the more desired breeds. And then the little tail of a foal, it's just, there's a bone under there, and he'll flip that little tail around, and as he gets older, he'll use it to balance himself and to make flies go away. And it's almost like a little flag. You can tell what the horse is thinking by looking at his tail. And it's just, here's where the bone is, and then it's all curly right there. It's very little. And when you see the picture of this little foal galloping around, you'll see that he's got it way up in the air. These are his hoofs. This is hard right here, and then the foot goes in there. That was a hard thing for me to learn when I was drawing. This is called the fetlock. And then the front legs are straight. The back legs have a bend to them, and this is called their hock. It's the way that their leg is put together. And so you'll want to make a bend about, ooh, looks like about halfway down. And then I'm just showing somewhere the muscles are. And the Frisian horse in particular has a very arched neck. And you're even seeing this in the foal. And he's all rounded and full of having eaten some good meals, I think, because he's a little bit chubby in the tummy. So I'll just sign my work here. And there's Rosalina. I think I'll color Rosalina in with my watercolors. I've got my watercolors here. And actually, a black animal is one of the more difficult animals to color in because it's hard to show the gradations of the animal. And a black horse is very shiny, especially if it's healthy like these two were. So I'm going to leave some white on this horse to show the shine marks. There's a little place right there, and maybe a little one on its back. And there's its little face. And I've already drawn in its eye with my magic marker. Let's see, there's its little mane, and I can make a few little brush strokes to show how curly that mane is. Now here's a little trick to show you. I'm rinsing out my brush so it has nothing but clear water in it. I'm going to take some paint away. I'm going to take some paint away right on its neck where it curves, and that gives it maybe a look of shininess, and like it's not a flat creature, it's a round creature. There's his legs. When I was seeing these two horses at Briggs's, I realized this is the first time I've seen a Frisian in my life, and it's a very beautiful animal. And there's his little tail, and they were so healthy that they had dapples on their coats. I'll look forward to drawing those dapples when I draw the mother Ollie. I'm using a little blue in there because sometimes when the light hits a black horse, you'll see some blue highlights. And then it'll be a little bit darker under its stomach where this leg is in shadow. I'm going to use that trick again of using just plain water and lightening up a little bit on its head so it looks like it has more of depth to it. And I think it has a little pink nostril. So I have a little pink here in my watercolors. And just put that little tiny bit of pink there. Maybe a little bit on the inside of its ear too. And there he is. I'd like to draw the Frisian mare for you. Her name is Ollie. I'm going to start with that rectangle idea again. And this time, instead of an up and down rectangle, the proportions of a grown-up horse are different, and it will be more of a sideways rectangle. So I've cut it in half so that we can see by what goes above those lines and on either side where what its body, the proportions will be. So I'll put her head here, and then half her body will be above this line and half below. And then I'm going to make her trotting because that's what these horses do so well. And then part will be going the other way. And then she has a huge tail and mane. So there she is. That's about how it will look. So now I'll start with more of a finished drawing. And I'd like to thank Jojo Doherty, who helped me with turning out that mare so we could see her with her foal. Now this Frisian horse has kind of a dished-in face because way back, hundreds of years ago when it was bred, there was some Arab blood in it. And if you know about horses, you know that they have a dished-in face like this. There's not very much thoroughbred in this horse. And they have a very high arch in their neck. And if you see any pictures of ancient horses, you can see that they have this arch in their neck. And as a matter of fact, when I first saw these horses, I thought it looks like it came right out of a museum where there'd be a beautiful horse drawing. And she has a longer back than her baby. And the Frisian horse has a long flowing mane and tail. I'm going to save that till last. And she's trotting, the gait that they are very famous for. And she's got her front leg picked up nice and high. That's where the knee joint comes in. And horses have a muscle right there. I'm drawing that in. And then this is the shoulder where her neck comes up from out of that. And then here's the other leg coming down, resting on that foot. And that's the hard hoof right here. And I'm sure she appreciates that nice soft earth she was trotting on. Nice and comfortable for her. And then this is the bend in her back leg, which is called the hock right there. I thought that was the hardest thing to draw when I was little. And if you could ever see the drawings that I did, you would just have to laugh because they've gotten a lot better, and all it takes is practice. Luckily, I had a best friend named Marla who was a better artist than I was, and we would just draw for hours, and practice makes perfect. Now for her long flowing tail. And these Frisians are famous for their flowing tails. And I think this is true, that Jojo told me that the father of this horse, its sire's mane touched the ground. It was so long. You have to take special care of a show horse like that that has a mane that is that long. And there she is. I guess I could color in next. There she is. There she is. So I'll get my watercolors. And one of the things that is very fun about drawing horses is to put all those different colors in. I know that in Armadillo Rodeo there's a beautiful horse named Spotlight that's brown and white spots. And my horse Hans was a chestnut, which is was a brown, beautiful brown color with a brown mane and tail. And in Fritz and the Beautiful Horses, there's a little pony named John Steele. In the book, his name is Fritz. And he was bay, which is brown horse, black tail and mane. But these Frisians are known for their black color, so I have to stay with what they really look like. And so that's why I'm making sure that these two are black. I put a lot of blue in this black because I don't use a black watercolor. I mix blue and brown together. And there's under its stomach. I'm leaving a little white space there for a shine mark. Oh, and this horse was so healthy it had dapples, which are like little shine marks in its fur that are round. And when you see a horse that is very healthy, you'll see those shine marks called dapples. And I'm always very proud if a horse of mine has dapples in its coat, because it means it's eating its food well and it's being fed well and it's happy and healthy. And I think before I start on its face, I'm going to use that technique of using just clear water and see if I can get some dapples to come out on its fur, just little round spots to make him look really healthy. Of course, if I was doing this for one of my books, this picture would probably take about a day to do because I like to do little details. And it takes me an hour just to do an inch. So this is very fast. I have to think on my feet. Which one of the reasons I love to draw is because I can get all dreamy and imagine a story behind the artwork. And that makes it fun for me. So there's his muzzle. And Ollie had a little bit of dark, deep brown in her muzzle when I saw her. And there's that shine mark on her neck. I want to make her look healthy. So there's a little bit of brown. She had a little bit of brown right there. And then down to her feet. And her hooves are a little bit lighter gray. I think that you would have fun drawing a lot of horses together, and then you could put the different colors in. And there's nothing, a horse is so proud when it's galloping around by itself, and one of the goals when you're riding a horse is to make it look like it's enjoying itself as much as if it did not have a rider on its back. And you'll see this beautiful carriage of its tail when it's a happy horse. And horses are they're creatures that people have described as being noble because they love to please their riders. And there's a bond that develops between the person that's riding the horse and the horse, and sometimes that bond can be instantaneous. And that's really a thrill when that happens, because you feel like you're close to an animal that really has so big and strong and huge and could do anything it wanted, but yet it obeys because it wants to work with you as a team. And you saw the young woman who was holding Ollie, and her name is Jojo Doherty, and she has been riding for lots of years. And it was her mother and her grandfather that taught me to ride when I was a very little girl. Here's a little pink for Ollie's nostrils. You're not going to see too much of that. And then I think what I'll do is go back, and I did not do this with a foal, but I want to give a little bit more definition and a shadow under its stomach, and it's under its jowl, which is this part right here under its chin. And what else was I going to work on? Oh, I want to make this back leg look like it's really in the back, and I'm doing that by making a little darker shade there. I want to make it look like it's behind it. Now, if these two legs were both forward, that would be a pace, which is a different kind of gait. It's very unusual, actually. You just see that pretty much in pacing horses that are run on the track. So opposite legs move forward in the trot. And of course, if you're like me, you like to go fast, and that would be a canter, which is a different kind of gait. I'm drawing a trot today. My favorite thing is jumping. And there's the horse's eye, which of course is how we know what the horse is thinking. And there's even a better way, which is which way the ears are going. Wish I could even this out a little bit more. If the horse's ears are forward, he's alert, he's happy, he's thinking about what's going to happen next. If the horse's ears are back, it usually means that he's worried about something. He might be mad. And if one is forward and one is back, he's probably listening. He's thinking, what do I hear behind me? Because the horse's eyes are on the side of their head. You can't see behind them. That's why it's always good to be cautious when you're behind a horse. Make sure that horse can see you. You don't make any loud noises. The horses appreciate it when you're calm. So there she is. There's Ollie, that beautiful horse with her long flowing tail. And I'd like to sign that picture because I love to tell children, always sign your work. Have fun drawing your horses.